The story opens on a bright, peaceful day in a modern coastal city. In a quiet room, a blue-haired woman breastfeeds her tiny, green-haired baby. Looking down with adoration, she thinks that as long as her baby grows up healthy, it's all worth it. The baby gains energy points from feeding, realizing with a start that he has transmigrated into a newborn's body. Flailing in his crib, he thinks that despite his helplessness, he has a powerful system on his side. At 3 months old, his parents, Lin Yansheng and Zhang Wangxin, praise his quiet nature while he, Lin Zichen, secretly unlocks a new strength-doubling attribute by kicking. Lying in his crib, Zichen daydreams about his future powers, envisioning himself as Spider-Man or Iron Man. By 4 months, he secretly crawls at night to train, his system rewarding him with increased vitality and coordination. Driven by his use-it-or-lose-it ability, he masters walking at just 5 months old, steadily increasing his stats. Now 6 months old, Lin Zichen sits with his parents, relieved he can finally crawl and sit without raising suspicion. Watching the news, he learns that gene fusers and cyborgs have joined forces to fight beasts. Realizing this world is not the Earth he knew, he understands this Earth has mutated, giving rise to terrifying creatures that humanity calls beasts. Humanity's defenders are split into 2 factions: cyborgs who rely on technology, and gene fusers who inherit the power of beasts. Lin Zichen clenches his tiny fist, determined to use his system to evolve in secret and survive this dangerous new world. A new neighbor, a woman with glasses named Shumeng, arrives at their door with a gift. Shumeng introduces her family, her husband, Shen Jianye, and their little purple-haired daughter, Shen Qing'an. Zichen continues his secret training, earning stat points by jumping, running, and crawling around the house. By 8 months, he has mastered running and speaking, and has even started doing sit-ups and push-ups. While training, he gets careless, and his mother unexpectedly walks in on him mid-sit-up. Zhang Wanqin stares in disbelief, questioning if her baby Chen is actually doing sit-ups. She dismisses the strange sight as a hallucination from her work as a novelist, while Zichen, feigning sleep, breathes a sigh of relief. Later, while bathing him, his mother discovers his tiny abs and screams for her husband to come see the unbelievable sight. His father, Lin Yansheng, thoughtfully strokes his chin, pondering how his 8-month-old son could already have a six-pack. A light bulb goes off as he has a sudden realization, exclaiming that their son must be a once-in-a-lifetime prodigy. Lin Yansheng proudly declares his son's limitless future, while Zichen is relieved his novelist parents chalked his strength up to genius instead of reincarnation. The family watches a news report on a 2-year-old prodigy from Kyoto who can lift a 20 kilograms dumbbell. His mother proudly ruffles his hair, declaring that her Chen won't lose to any so-called prodigy. Zichen is moved by his mother's unwavering belief in him, the prodigy's image reflected in his determined eyes. He privately wonders if he'll truly be strong enough to lift 20 kilograms by the time he's 2. At 2 years old, he proves his potential by effortlessly lifting a 20 kilograms box in the storage room. He's startled out of his training when his mother calls, announcing that his friend Qing'an has arrived to play. He exits the storage room, casually brushing dust from his shoulder with a weary sigh. His tired expression instantly brightens with excitement as he sees his little friend. Shen Jinghan, now a toddler, offers him a tart with the babyish lisp, but he tells her to eat it. He recalls how she often fell asleep on him, inadvertently becoming the perfect weighted accessory for his push-up training. By age 3, Lin Zichen has grown even stronger, now able to lift a 40-kilogram box with just one hand. As he watches a news report about the 4-year-old Kyoto prodigy lifting 30 kilograms, he knows he has already surpassed him. He checks his status window, noting he is still ordinary rank 1 and wondering what lies beyond human limits at rank 2. Driven by this question, he steps outside for the first time and is greeted by a city full of beastmen, robots, and cyborgs. With King Han and their mothers in tow, he heads straight for the library, believing it holds the answers he seeks. He darts off towards the children's section, ignoring his mother's calls as King Han hurries to follow him. While he's engrossed in a book, King Han offers him cookies, but he declines, too focused on his research, leaving their mothers puzzled. He discovers from an ancient text that the world's power is divided into 6 bio-levels, from ordinary to the godlike mythical tier. The book depicts a monstrous, horned beast crackling with destructive energy. As images of epic battles fill the page, he learns that each bio-level has 9 stages, making ordinary humans weaker than ants in comparison. A human silhouette stands before a massive armored being, a radiant red core of power glowing in his chest. As he reads, a system notification rewards him with a new attribute, Heavenly Insight, for reading over 100 million words. Holding the book aloft, he celebrates his new mission from the system, to train both his brain and his brawn. At 4 years old, Lin Zichen continues his dual training, gaining stats from reading Illustrated Beasts with King Han. He and Ching Han start kindergarten, holding hands with their teacher, Miss Strawberry. Having reached ordinary rank 2, Zichen demonstrates his strength by effortlessly lifting an 80-kilogram suitcase. In the classroom, Ching Han is bullied for being a bedwetter, and an angry Zichen watches from the side. He decides he can't stand by and watch, leaping over the desks to intervene. With a burst of energy, Zichen lands with a powerful stomp in the middle of the classroom. He moves in a blur, confronting the bullies in an instant. The two main bullies grimace in pain from his swift retaliation. As the bullies cry for their parents, he asks if they got the message, leaving Ching Han to stare in awe. His domineering aura unlocks the kindergarten boss title, and he realizes quests can run simultaneously. Half a year later, he completes the reading quest, unlocking Heavenly Insight and achieving peak human learning ability. Click! Time passes, and at age 7, Zichen and his friends celebrate their kindergarten graduation with a photo. During the vacation, he pushes himself harder than ever, lifting 200 kilograms and practicing his agility. He clocks a 100-meter dash under 8 seconds and uses his advanced intellect to study elementary coursework on his own. The scene shifts to Sunshine Elementary, where his new school life is about to begin. Standing atop the podium at a math competition, he focuses on his real goal, unlocking the elementary school top dog title. He patiently tutors a struggling Ching Han, who has trouble pronouncing the word grandmother. Though she wasn't gifted, Ching Han's hard work earned her second place in class, right behind him. His training continues relentlessly as he masters new skills and grows stronger. Back in the classroom, the teacher announces that the class is welcoming a new transfer student. A girl with long, silver-white hair named Bai Xue is introduced to her new classmates. A new chapter begins, focused on his ongoing evolution. The story continues, shifting its focus to the mysterious new student. Bai Xue walks down the aisle, looking for an empty seat. Ching Han whispers to Zichen, remarking how beautiful Bai Xue's hair is, like snowflakes in winter. The new student silently takes the seat right next to Zichen. He senses a strange, non-human aura from Bai Xue, wondering if she is a gene-fused human. In the days that follow, Bai Xue remains quiet and isolated, sleeping at her desk as classmates play around her. The classroom settles into a quiet calm as Bai Xue continues to sleep at her desk. A strange white liquid begins to secrete from her body while she sleeps. Classmates notice the foul-smelling liquid, and a boy cruelly mocks her for being filthy. Offering to help, the boy maliciously pours a bottle of water over her head. Crack, humiliated, she digs her nails into the desk, tears streaming down her face. Drenched and sobbing, she stares down at the puddle on her desk. As the bullies laugh, a worried Ching Han asks Zichen if they should help the pitiful girl. Deciding she's just a weak girl being bullied, Zichen clenches his fists and agrees to step in. He grabs the main bully, Guanchun, by the collar, startling him. With a menacing grin, Zichen orders the boy to wipe the water off Bai Xue's desk. Terrified, Guanchun quickly agrees, promising to wipe it right away. The two bullies scramble to clean the desk, knowing better than to defy the formidable Lin Zichen. Zichen stands and commands everyone who bullied Bai Xue to apologize to her immediately. The terrified bullies shout, "Yes!" in absolute unison. Standing before Bai Xue, the bullies bow their heads and apologize, promising to never bully her again. Touched by his actions, Bai Xue looks up with tears of gratitude in her eyes. Ching places a comforting hand on Bai Xue's shoulder, reassuring her that it's natural to help a classmate. The three become close friends, and Ching Han happily shares her food with Bai Xue. Bai Xue nervously asks if they dislike her because of the bad smell. Remembering her lonely past, she tears up, overwhelmed by the unreal happiness of finally having friends. Her eyes widen in surprise as she listens to her new friend's response. Ching Han smiles warmly, telling Bai Xue she would never despise her because she once went through the same thing. A boy with teal hair and a girl with purple hair smile as she declares they will be friends forever. The white-haired girl weeps with overwhelming gratitude, thanking them both profusely. In a moment of reflection, the white-haired girl recalls how Ching Han and Xiao Chen always treated her as a friend, and decides to give them something in return. She offers them a necklace with 2 beast fangs, a precious gift from her mother, hoping they can always remain best friends. A hand accepts the fang necklace, as an unseen voice firmly agrees they will. The 3 friends stand together against a brilliant sunset, vowing to always be the best of friends. The purple-haired girl reacts with shock, questioning if their friend Bai Xue really transferred schools. The teal-haired boy confirms the news, admitting he personally saw her completing her withdrawal papers. Peeking from a doorway, the boy watches as Bai Xue is escorted away by a man with cybernetic arms, while another man confirms her confidential paperwork is complete. The teal-haired boy realizes, with dawning certainty, that Bai Xue's identity was never simple. Bai Xue walks away, her long silver hair flowing behind her in a final, quiet departure. A woman with teal hair stretches contentedly on the sofa, thanking Xiao Chen for a great massage, while he inwardly credits his masterful technique to his heavenly gifted root. A news report on TV shows the Kyoto Prodigy, a powerful figure, effortlessly lifting a massive boulder. Xiao Chen stares at the screen, his eyes wide, as he wonders if the Prodigy has already undergone gene fusion. He watches his father walk past, muttering about the Kyoto Prodigy's constant camera presence, and questioning if they're just turning him into an influencer. His parents discuss the Prodigy. The man explains that martial arts clans often sacrifice individuals for the family's advancement, to which the woman sarcastically retorts that he knows everything. Xiao Chen analyzes the Prodigy's strength, noting that while the Prodigy lifts 500 kilograms after gene fusion, he himself can already lift 300 kilograms at just 8 years old without it. Clenching his fist, Xiao Chen feels a surge of confidence, convinced his own potential is far greater. The mood shifts as the TV reports on a devastating beast attack in a neighboring country, showing a city in ruins. Horrifying footage reveals the culprits, a swarm of giant mutant rats crawling over a skyscraper. A terrifying memory surfaces of a white-haired woman crying for help as she's trapped in the jaws of a monster. Crunch. The frame is filled with the menacing, sharp teeth of the monstrous beast. In a starkly contrasting scene, the purple-haired girl smiles brightly while hugging a penguin plushie. At a press conference, an official announces that heretical cultists instigated the beast attack and calls for global cooperation to eradicate them. Xiao Chen ponders the news about the traitorous anti-human cult, feeling fortunate to be growing up in a relatively stable and safe environment. His thoughts are shattered as a sudden sound makes his eyes widen in alarm. He realizes there was a sonic boom outside the window, startling both him and his parents. He rushes to the window, pulling back the curtain to see what caused the disturbance. Outside, a fleet of government cyborgs soars through the night sky, making him wonder anxiously if something bad has happened. The scene shifts to the bright light of a new morning outside a modern building. The purple-haired girl hurries over to Xiao Chen, thanking him for waiting, and telling him they'll be late. Xiao Chen's eyes widen as he has a sudden realization. The purple-haired girl holds up the fang necklace, which is now emitting a faint blue glow, and Xiao Chen confirms she was right. He examines the glowing fang, suspecting it's from a mutant beast, and realizing it must be the source of Bai Xue's faint non-human aura. Walking through a city street populated by strange individuals, he connects the cyborgs and the glowing fang, an unshakable feeling of dread growing within him. As they walk, a tall, red-haired woman in a sleek black dress watches them intently from behind a lamppost. The red-haired woman watches them pass, remarking on what a cute pair of kids they are. She suddenly steps into their path, curiously asking if they are brother and sister. The purple-haired girl happily clarifies that they are not siblings, but the best of childhood friends. The woman smiles, holding a cigarette, and says she's jealous, wishing she had a childhood friend too. Leaning closer with a predatory smile, she asks why they're alone and where their parents might be. Xiao Chen sharply grabs his friend's hand, cutting the woman off by stating, "Enough chatting." He confidently leads his friend away, leaving the mysterious red-haired woman behind them on the sidewalk. Once in the schoolyard, Xiao Chen warns his friend not to casually answer questions from strangers anymore, and she agrees. They take a shortcut through a desolate alley, and Han remarks that its eerie silence feels creepy. Xiao Chen explains that the area is scheduled for demolition next week, which is why it's so deserted. Their path is blocked by the red-haired woman, who reports to someone named Ba Sheng that she's found the 2 kids. Xiao Chen is shocked, realizing that even though he deliberately took a different route with Han, the woman still managed to stalk them. The woman offers them food and fun at her house, but a large, bald man appears behind her, sternly telling her to stop the nonsense. A large man in an alley impatiently tells his red-haired partner to just knock the two fleeing children out. Lunging forward with a cloth, the man reveals his motive, shouting that he's in a hurry to sell them for cash. The teal-haired boy refuses to run, spinning around to face his attacker with a determined expression. The boy throws a punch, and the massive man grits his teeth as he moves to block the incoming strike. To the red-haired woman's shock, the impact of the boy's punch sends her huge partner flying backward. As the man coughs up blood, the woman wonders in disbelief how an elementary schooler could possess such immense power. The boy immediately follows up, landing a swift and powerful punch to the astonished woman's gut. He delivers another decisive blow, completely incapacitating his second attacker. Standing over his defeated foes, the boy worries that if they talk, his secret abilities will be exposed, ruining his plans. Suddenly, the ground begins to shake violently, and he and the purple-haired girl wonder if it's an earthquake. Crash! A massive, monstrous claw smashes through a nearby concrete wall. A giant, horrifying mutant rat creature emerges, looming over the alley and its inhabitants. The monster opens its massive jaws and, with a sickening crunch, devours the unconscious red-haired woman. Its multiple eyes glint as it finishes its gruesome meal in a single gulp. Snatching the man, the monster turns its attention to the children as the girl screams, "Xiao Chen, what is that?" Xiao Chen scoops the terrified girl into his arms, grimly telling her it's a giant mutant rat. "We have to get to safety? Fast," he yells, sprinting down the alley to escape the beast. Just then, a blonde woman in sleek red and gold armor flies down into the alley. She lands gracefully between the children and the monster, prompting the girl to gasp, "Cyborgs." The cyborg hero stands her ground against the beast, her incredible arrival speed noted by Zygon. Her gauntlet begins to glow with an intense orange light as she announces she is charging up her power. Aiming her palm forward, the cyborg prepares to unleash a cloud of anesthetic smoke. Shoo! A volley of glowing canisters launches from her suit, streaking toward the mutant rat. The canisters erupt in a series of massive explosions, engulfing the monster as the children watch. A promotional page is displayed for the series, Infinite Evolution Starting from Zero. Boom! An enraged roar echoes from within the smoke and fire of the explosion. As the smoke clears, the monster is revealed to be wounded, but still very much alive and furious. Crackle. The cyborg zips forward, delivering a devastating electricity-charged punch to the creature's jaw. Later, watching a news report of the incident, Zychen critically analyzes the fight, thinking the cyborg's rank isn't very high. The imposing shadow of the mutant rat looms in his mind, a stark reminder of the dangers he faces. Now more motivated than ever, Zychen pushes himself in training, earning stat increases for his hard work. A flashback shows a younger Zichen and Shen Qinghan celebrating their 9th birthday together with a cake. In a tender, sunlit memory, Zichen gently pats a blushing Qinghan's head. Qinghan happily shows off a beautiful wooden hairpin, thanking Zichen for carving the gift for her. After graduating elementary school, Zichen unlocks a new Law of the Jungle attribute and eagerly anticipates his next title. During his vacation, he undergoes grueling training, completing 1,000 weighted push-ups for massive stat gains. His intense training pays off as a final 10-kilometer run triggers a breakthrough, advancing his biological grade to common rank 3. The night before school, Zichen relaxes on the couch, watching a news report that has everyone talking. He watches a hero with a giant ant gene lift a 2,000-kilogram block, calculating the man's power and concluding he is still stronger. The thought of his own potential fills him with excitement, and he eagerly awaits the day he can undergo gene fusion. Having been the city's top student, Zichen leveraged his status to ensure he and Qinghan could attend the same middle school. On the first day, the school's leadership personally welcomed him, but he quickly slipped away to find Qinghan. Before classes officially started, he and Qinghan met at the school's court for a friendly game of badminton. "Xiao Chen, let's start," Qinghan says with a bright smile, preparing to serve. Leaping gracefully, she unleashes her signature move, the fairy curve shot. The powerful shot flies across the net, only for Zichen to catch the shuttlecock effortlessly in his hand. Their game is interrupted when an upperclassman snatches the shuttlecock, declaring the court is for older students. As the upperclassman's friends mockingly offer to teach her, Qinghan stands her ground, insisting they were there first. Zykan steps between them, his voice cold as he warns the boys to stay away from her. The lead upperclassman smirks, arrogantly declaring that rules don't apply to him and he's taking the court. In a flashback, a younger Xiao Chen leaps into the air, preparing to smash a shuttlecock during a badminton game. With a fierce cry, he unleashes a powerful strike, the impact echoing with a mighty pow. The shuttlecock rockets across the court like a bullet. His opponent's racket shatters on impact, the boys staring in wide-eyed shock. The other boys are terrified, questioning if he's even human, and realizing the strike could have been lethal. The defeated bullies bow in apology, promising to leave them alone from now on. He recalls that after that day, no one ever dared to bully him or Qinghan again. Throughout middle school, he breezed through coursework, spending his class time reading advanced extracurricular books. At night, he used his heavenly root talent to master countless skills online, from cooking to wilderness survival. To unlock a special title, he dominated every subject and competition, intentionally limiting his gold medals to avoid unwanted attention. His success, however, only earned him piles of love letters from fangirls, much to his annoyance. Ignoring the attention, he focused on tutoring Shen Qinghan and preparing for the upcoming school sports meet. He entered the shot put, high jump, and sprinting events, launching the shot an incredible distance. He clears the high jump with effortless grace. Dominating the track, he resolves to conquer every athletic event. Even while holding back, winning first place was easy, and he shows his gold medal to Qinghan. At that moment of victory, he suddenly feels a new power awakening within him. A system window announces he has unlocked the Junior High Tyrant title and a new skill, Law of the Fittest. The scene shifts to Qinghan sitting quietly on her bed, holding a small tiger plushie. As they walk to school, a notification explains his new ability to devour life essence to evolve, making him wonder what it means until Qinghan calls his name. Snapped out of his thoughts, he realizes he was lost in the system's explanation. He asks Han if he can take a look at her Beast Fang necklace. As he examines the fang, his eyes widen with a startling discovery. A system window reveals the fang is from an abyssal butterfly, and he gains 1 progress towards acquiring its power. That night, he decides to search online for information on the abyssal butterfly. His search yields no results, leaving him to wonder about the creature's origins. Realizing online searches are a dead end, he resolves to uncover the truth about the beast himself. He finds the second beast fang Bai Xue had given him, thankful she left them too. As he holds the second fang, he absorbs another trace of life essence, increasing his bestiary progress to 2. He notes that the fang has little essence left, and decides he'll need another method to fully unlock the power. He begins biking with Qinghan to school daily, training to be fast enough to protect her from future beast attacks. As they ride, a voice calls out his other name, Ziken, startling him. A man introduces himself as Teacher Guo from the martial arts team, praising his legendary performance at the school games. The teacher enthusiastically invites him to join the martial arts team. Teacher Guo insists his athletic talent is too great to ignore and offers him a chance to check out the team first. Overwhelmed by the fast-talking teacher, Xiao Chen can only listen as the man tells him to visit the gym tomorrow. The day ends with a calm sunset over the city. Later, he claps his hands together with a sharp crack. Looking at a dead mosquito in his palm, he deduces that only powerful beasts possess enough life essence for him to devour. To test his theory, he bikes with Qinghan toward a supermarket known for selling beast meat. They soon arrive at a large downtown market. Inside, he's disappointed to find only prepackaged meat until a butcher's cry for fresh-cut beast meat catches his ear. He spots a counter with unprocessed fresh beast meat and knows this is his chance. Telling a baffled Han to wait, he declares he's going to touch the meat and dashes off. He approaches the counter filled with strange, raw cuts of beast flesh. Reaching out, he hesitantly places his hand on a slice of the fresh meat. A wave of purple energy surges into him as he confirms that beast meat holds a powerful life essence. Han watches, confused by his ecstatic reaction to simply touching raw meat. She cautiously asks how the meat feels, and if it's different from normal meat. Zichen suggests they buy some of the displayed meat to try, leaving the purple-haired girl completely bewildered. He realizes the beast meat is incredibly expensive, with ghost squid priced at nearly 1,000 per jin. Despite the cost, Zichen confidently picks up a package of ghost squid, deciding to buy it anyway. A worried Qinghan protests, telling Zichen the meat is too expensive and they should ask his mother first. Reassuringly, he pats her head and tells her not to worry, causing her to blush. He leans in close, explaining that his mom had already told him to buy extra. In his memory, his mother instructs him to buy meat for Qinghan's family as well, planning a feast for both of them. Beep? At the counter, he pays a hefty $29.94 for 3 jin of ghost squid. Leaving the store, Qinghan sighs, lamenting the high price and wondering when they could afford it again. As they ride home late at night, the narration explains they left quickly due to the unsafe conditions. While riding, Zichen eyes the meat in his basket, eager to test an idea he's been pondering. Whoosh! He places his hand on the package, and a crackle of purple energy emanates from the ghost squid meat. A system notification confirms he has devoured a trace of the ghost squid's life essence. As purple energy surges through him, he witnesses a terrifying vision of the massive ghost squid as his bestiary for the creature reaches 0.1. A silver-haired woman gracefully plays the piano, marking a transition in the chapter. The scene returns to Zichen and Qinghan riding their bicycle through the city at night. Zichen calculates that he would need to spend 100,000 to fully unlock the Ghost Shadow Squid's guidebook. He stares ahead, contemplating how to afford more when even the cheapest beast meat is so costly. Resolved, he decides he must find a way to earn money on his own without asking his family. Checking the glowing meat in his basket, he believes enough time has passed to see the results of his absorption. A system notification reveals his progress with the Ghost Shadow Squid has reached 3, bringing a smile to his face. Screech. He abruptly slams on the brakes, skidding to a halt. After nearly hitting a couple, he quickly apologizes for his carelessness. Lost in thought about absorbing the essence, he snapped back to reality when Qinghan points ahead, shouting his name. He's shocked to see his teacher, Cao Mei, being held hostage by a muscular, red-haired man with a knife. Armed security forces have surrounded the area, ordering the hostage-taker to surrender. A police captain warns his team not to shoot, while another officer suggests using sleeping gas as an alternative. The captain dismisses the idea, worried that using gas would be too obvious and might provoke the suspect. Unseen by the police, Zixing quietly bends down and picks up a small rock. With a flick of his wrist, he hurls the rock with incredible speed and accuracy. Pow! The rock strikes the hostage-taker's hand, forcing him to drop the knife in pain. Seeing their chance, the police captain yells for his team to move in immediately. The officers swiftly subdue the criminal, while their colleague comforts the terrified teacher. Qinghan asks if he was responsible for the rock, but Zichen quickly silences her, urging they leave. Just as they're about to slip away, the police captain calls out, asking if he was the one who threw the rock. Zichen nervously denies any involvement, waving his hands dismissively. The captain watches them go, puzzled why someone would pass up the reward offered for such a brave act. The word reward instantly catches Zichen's attention, his eyes widening in realization. Whoosh! He spins the bike around and pedals furiously back toward the police captain. He stops and admits he threw the rock, explaining his urgent need for money, and the captain agrees to help him apply for the reward. As the restrained criminal is led away, the scene seems to be resolved. Roar. The man suddenly lets out a monstrous roar, his face twisting in a grotesque transformation. The officers recoil in horror as he mutates into a giant, horrifying rat-like creature bursting from his cuffs. The massive mutant rat slashes wildly, throwing the surrounding officers into chaos. The police captain urgently radios for backup, ordering all units to open fire and protect the civilians. As bullets bounce off the creature's hide, a report confirms it's a heretic fused with Rat King genes, requiring immediate backup. Overwhelmed by fear, teachers Cao Mei and Qinghan clutch their chests, paralyzed. Zichen grabs them both, shouting that their only priority is to escape. He pulls them away from the chaos, relieved the beast isn't pursuing them, but still urging them to run faster. Swoosh! As they flee, a mysterious figure in a futuristic suit descends from the sky, catching them by surprise. A cyborg warrior delivers a powerful kick to a grotesque monster, whose thoughts scream out in surprise. Whoosh! The monster is sent flying backwards, crashing hard against the side of a tall building. A woman in purple mechanized armor focuses her energy, announcing that her laser cannon is charging. Unleashing her power, she fires a barrage of concentrated laser beams from her hands. The multi-eyed creature recoils, roaring in agony as the lasers strike its body. The monster's horrifying, fanged maw opens wide in a final, agonizing scream. Watching from below, a boy with teal hair stares in awe, stunned by the incredible power he's witnessing. The boy, standing with his bike, is relieved it wasn't damaged, while a woman and a purple-haired girl behind him celebrate being saved. A sudden realization dawns on the teal-haired boy as his eyes widen in alarm. Looking into his bike's basket, he discovers in horror that the purple beast meat he was carrying has gone bad. Holding a spoiled tentacle, he decides he needs an excuse and will blame the heretic for ruining his purchase. Xiao Chen throws the ruined meat down, blaming the heretic's powerful attack for roasting it, while a woman reassures him that their safety is what matters. The narration explains that at the captain's request, Xiao Chen and his companions got into a police van to give their statements. Inside the vehicle, they look upon the scorched remains of the heretic, with the narration noting the intense smell. As Xiao Chen observes the scene, an idea suddenly strikes him: infinite evolution from zero. Sitting near the corpse, Xiao Chen wonders how much Rat King gene he can absorb from it, and decides there's only one way to find out. Swish! His hand reaches out, wreathed in a swirling red energy as he prepares to act. Xiao Chen's eyes flash as he begins to absorb the heretic's life essence. A notification confirms he's devoured a trace of the giant mutant Rat King's life essence, increasing his guidebook progress to 5 as he realizes the gain is proportional to the essence absorbed. When the officer tells him to sit still, Xiao Chen plays it off, claiming he was just stretching after sitting for too long. The scene transitions, marked by a shifting grid pattern. At the public security office, a muscular officer questions how a middle schooler could throw a rock so precisely, to which Xiao Chen cheekily credits training his right hand. The officer and Xiao Chen stare each other down in a moment of silent, mutual suspicion. A woman with long teal hair bursts in, announcing she's there to take Xiao Chen and his friend home, much to his surprise. Overcome with worry, Xiao Chen's mother rushes towards him with outstretched arms. She embraces him tightly, frantic with worry, but he reassures her that he's fine and even received a bravery reward. His mother tearfully pleads with him to promise he will hide somewhere safe the next time there is danger. She explains that her only wish is for him to grow up safe, touching his heart with her sincere plea. Xiao Chen promises to protect himself first, as he and his mother walk away, leaving the thoughtful officer behind. 2 female officers discuss the Rat God cult's brazen new strategy of targeting university students who can't legally obtain gene fusion qualifications. As the officers resolve to eliminate the self-proclaimed Rat King, an eavesdropping Xiao Chen is visibly shaken by the mention of the name. In the car on the way home, Xiao Chen scrolls through his phone while the purple-haired girl sits silently beside him. He reads that the Rat God cult's main base is in Nanguan City, with its ranks swelling with societal outcasts. A shocking realization hits Xiao Chen as he processes the new information. He connects the dots, realizing the Rat King must be forcing its followers to gather materials for its own evolution. The implications of a sentient Rat King with a grand plan leave him deeply concerned. He glances out the window and spots a cat-sized rat, wondering if it could be connected to the Rat King. Dismissing his fears, he tries to reassure himself that such large rats aren't that unusual in the South. He then notices Han Han's unusual silence and turns to see her looking deeply distressed. A closer look reveals that Han Han is trembling uncontrollably, having wet herself out of fear. He recalls that Han Han has always had this issue when she's nervous or startled, even as a child. He wonders if her extreme reaction is linked to some hidden potential, as they drive through a city street where another large rat scurries. Back at home, his mother panics, shouting that the expensive meat from the basket is gone. Thinking fast, Xiao Chen feigns embarrassment and claims he must have dropped it during the emergency. His mother tells him to forget the meat, relieved that he's safe, which is all that matters to her. Xiao Chen breathes a quiet sigh of relief, thankful that his mother believed his excuse. Later, his father insists on going back for the meat, but Xiao Chen argues it's too dangerous and already spoiled, forcing him to claim it was just a guess. The muscular officer stands alone in his office, still trying to understand how a mere middle schooler could possess such incredible power. His eyes narrow in suspicion, his mind racing as he remains fixated on the unresolved mystery surrounding the boy. A flashback reveals a terrified security officer staring up at a gigantic rat perched atop a shelf, wondering where the huge creature came from. Whoosh! The massive rat leaps down from its perch, ready to attack. Pow, pow. The officer desperately opens fire, his handgun blazing as shells eject. A visceral slash of red and black flashes across the screen, signifying a brutal attack. The chapter transitions, showing the series title and a new character, a girl with purple braided pigtails, striking a confident pose. Sigh. The scene shifts to a classroom where Zaichin sits at his desk, looking bored and contemplative. He thinks about his need to make money fast, to unlock the Ghost Shadow Squid's power. Realizing scholarships from school competitions are too slow, he briefly considers becoming a student influencer or selling study materials, but dismisses the idea as too flashy, despite the potential for quick cash. He realizes he has been approaching the problem from the wrong angle. He concludes that in his world of gene fusion and cyborgs, martial arts prize money is far more lucrative than academic awards. A montage shows a gene-fused warrior and a powerful cyborg, representing the paths to strength in his world. The scene shifts to the gymnasium, where Zaichin stands alone on the basketball court, facing a group of students in tracksuits. He takes a moment to sip from a steaming thermos before his meeting. Zaichin cheerfully waves, greeting the man in the hoodie as Coach Guo. Coach Guo looks up in surprise, a welcoming smile spreading across his face. Zaichin leans in to whisper, asking if joining the team will give him a chance to compete in city tournaments with high prize money. The coach smiles confidently, assuring him he'll have a chance and that the awards are worth tens of thousands. With his question answered, Zaichin shakes the coach's hand and officially joins the martial arts team, receiving a warm welcome. Coach Guo gathers the team, announcing that a new member is joining them today. The team members introduce themselves one by one: Zhang Kai, Huang Tianqing, Li Shutong, and Han Yisuo. Lin Zinshin introduces himself as Lin Zinshin and politely asks the team to take care of him. The narration explains that, since he's a beginner, Coach Guo starts by demonstrating fundamental fist and leg techniques. The coach explains the moves are deceptively tough, taking even the fastest learner a week to master, before telling Zaichin to try. Zaichin centers himself, assuming a starting martial arts stance with focused determination. His heaven-sent martial insight activates, allowing him to instantly analyze and understand the coach's movements. As he flawlessly executes the hand techniques, a system notification confirms his stats and proficiency are increasing. He unleashes a rapid succession of powerful kicks, moving with blinding speed and perfect form. A second system notification appears as he practices the leg techniques, showing another increase in his stats and proficiency. Holding his thermos, Coach Guo stares with his mouth agape, shouting that it's absolutely impossible. The entire team watches in stunned silence as Zaichin perfectly performs the complex routine, leaving the coach wondering how he learned it so quickly. The coach realizes with a jolt that Zaichin isn't just a fast learner, he's a once-in-a-million martial arts prodigy. The scene transitions to a panoramic view of the city at night. Back at home, Zaichin's mother calls for Yao Chen, telling him to come get the bowls, because dinner is almost ready. Excited for dinner, Zaichin slides into the room with a bowl and spoon in hand. His mother proudly presents a steaming platter of cooked Ghost Shadow Squid, the very meal he had been dreaming about. He breathes in the amazing aroma as his mother encourages him to eat while it's still hot. He takes his first bite, his expression showing pure bliss. His mother leans in, eagerly asking him how the meal tastes. He declares that her cooking is the best in the world, and she happily urges him to eat his fill of the expensive meat he bought. Ding! As he eats, a system notification confirms he's devoured more of the squid's life essence, increasing his progress to 3.01. While they eat, a news report on TV discusses a 14-year-old Prodigy who just became the youngest cyborg in history. The report highlights the cyborg's incredible superhuman abilities, including lifting an SUV and sprinting 400 meters in 3 seconds. A bright flash of energy radiates from the cyborg on the television screen. Zaichin contemplates his own future, wondering whether he should pursue becoming a gene-fused user or a cyborg. The news then reports the tragic death of security captain He Chun-shan, who was devoured in his office by a giant mutant rat. Horrified, Zaichin realizes the captain was likely a victim of the same type of giant rat from the previous night's attack. Motivated by the news, he decides to intensify his training, improving his 100-meter sprint time to an incredible 4.61 seconds. Beep! He pushes his agility to new heights, leaping gracefully across rooftops in the city. His martial arts training continues relentlessly, as he hopes to quickly boost his strength for the upcoming tournament. The next morning, he walks back to the gym to continue his practice, accompanied by a curious girl with purple pigtails named Hannah. A girl with pink hair approaches Lin Zaichin and Shen Qinghan, smiling shyly. The pink-haired girl offers Zaichin a bottle of milk, telling him it's fresh. Zaishen politely declines the milk, leaving the pink-haired girl looking crestfallen. Watching from afar, a brown-haired student fumes, angry that Zaichin rejected a gift from his goddess after stealing his championship. The jealous student steps forward and yells for them to stop. He confronts Zaichin, demanding to know why he was so rude as to reject a gift, but Zaichin calmly explains he is allergic to milk, an excuse his rival refuses to believe. Enraged, the student challenges Lin Zaichin to a spar, betting that Zaichin will have to drink the milk if he loses. A new achievement mission appears for Zaichin: eliminate 1,000 opponents to gain the survival of the fittest trait, and he grins, realizing his wait is over. Wreathed in a powerful purple aura, Zaichin confidently accepts the challenge to spar. A promotional page for Infinite Evolution from Zero is displayed, featuring a startled Shen Qing'an holding a device. Two girls learn about Lin Zaichin's duel with a senior and excitedly rush off to watch. A large crowd gathers in the gym, buzzing with anticipation as they surround the two fighters. A purple-haired girl in the crowd blushes, telling Zaichin she'll cheer for him and encouraging him to teach his opponent a lesson. The pink-haired girl from earlier also wishes Zaichin luck, ready to take pictures of his victory. TSK. The brown-haired senior scowls, annoyed that everyone in the crowd seems to expect him to lose. He resolves to crush the talented junior while he still has the chance, admitting to himself that he'll lose his chance to show off if he doesn't act now. Zaichin casually asks to speed things up because he needs to get home for dinner, much to his opponent's annoyance. His opponent smirks condescendingly, agreeing to grant his wish. The referee declares the start of the match, reminding them that friendship comes first. Just as the match begins, the brown-haired senior shouts for them to wait. He smugly offers Zaichin the first 3 moves, citing his own 2 years of training versus Zaichin's single month. Whoosh! Before he can react, Zaichin darts forward in a blur of motion, leaving his opponent utterly confused. Zaichin unleashes a lightning-fast punch, his eyes filled with focused intensity. Bam! The punch lands squarely on the senior's face, sending a spray of blood into the air. The senior lies unconscious on the floor, knocked out cold from the single blow. The referee stares in shock, exclaiming that it was a one-punch knockout. The surrounding students are equally stunned, marveling that the fight was over in an instant. Shen Qing'an throws her fist in the air, joyfully celebrating Zaichin's victory. The 2 girls who came to watch cheer wildly, calling Zaichin amazing. Zaichin receives a notification confirming he's eliminated a rival and gained priority mating rights, though he notes he still needs 999 more victories. With a friendly smile, Zaichin turns to the other senior students and invites them to spar as well. The group of boys he challenged looks on in absolute wide-eyed terror, making a flurry of flimsy excuses from cram school to needing the bathroom. The entire group of students flees the gym. His defeated opponent, Zhang Kai, struggles to his knees, accusing Zaichin of a sneak attack and demanding a rematch. The referee tells Zhang Kai to accept his loss, then proposes a test to see if Zaichin's power is real or just a fluke. When the referee calls for the next challenger, Xiao Lisi, the student looks back in pure terror. Xiao Lisi steps forward meekly, begging Zaichin not to hit him too hard. 10 minutes later, several more students are lying defeated on the gym floor. As Zaichin notes, he tried not to go too hard on them. Zaichin checks his progress. Realizing that simply sparring doesn't count toward his goal, he has to truly defeat his rivals. The referee grabs a bewildered Zaichin, ecstatically declaring him a genius and the martial arts team's new ace. Fired up, the referee proclaims that with Zaichin, their school is guaranteed to win the upcoming regional tournament. Zaichin's eyes light up as he realizes the tournament is the perfect chance to complete his mission. He envisions himself facing down powerful new opponents, his resolve hardening. With a determined look, Zaichin focuses on his new goal. Zhang Kai stands, formally accepting his loss with a bizarre and overly dramatic vow of submission. The onlookers, including Zaichin and the referee, are completely disturbed and shocked by his strange declaration. As the group flees from his weirdness, Zhang Kai watches them go, complaining that he wasn't even finished talking. The scene shifts to Zaichin and Shen Qing'an training, with the narration explaining she joined him to get into the martial arts class. Their intense regimen includes a long run, followed by an hour of hand-to-hand combat practice. They finish their workout with sit-ups and push-ups to build their strength and endurance. After their intense workouts, Zaichin helps Shen Qing'an relieve her muscle tension with a deep massage. Determined to unlock his natural selection module, he dedicates himself to training for the upcoming martial arts tournament. 1 month later, Zaichin walks with a new air of confidence, ready for the competition. A promotional page appears before the scene shifts, featuring Shen Qinghan looking determinedly over her shoulder. The setting changes to the city gymnasium, where a massive martial arts tournament is underway. In the contestant waiting area, a coach laments their bad luck as Shanghai High is matched against the formidable Shanghai #1 High. His teammates are visibly discouraged, hearing that their opponent has a runner who can dash 100 meters in under 9 seconds. Undaunted, Xiao Chen raises his hand and volunteers to fight first. The coach agrees, sending a surprise Zichen into the ring as the first competitor. As Xiao Chen warms up, Shen Qinghan and a teacher cheer him on, shouting that they believe in him. Pang, he plants his foot, cracking the ground beneath him with sheer power. A towering, muscular opponent greets him, acknowledging the first year's impressive talent for making it to the tournament stage. The larger fighter then smugly mocks Xiao Chen's height, calling the stage no place for a shorty. He flexes his massive biceps, promising to demonstrate the real gap in their size and power. The referee signals for the duel to begin, pitting the lean Xiao Chen against his colossal opponent. The muscular fighter lunges forward, throwing a powerful punch meant to end the fight quickly. What, to his opponent's shock, Xiao Chen effortlessly dodges the attack. Pa! Xiao Chen casually stops the giant's massive fist with one hand. With a single explosive blow, Xiao Chen sends his massive opponent flying out of the arena. The stunned announcer declares an unexpected victory for Lin Zichen. Shen Qinghan jumps to her feet, cheering wildly and shouting that Xiao Chen was amazing. Zichen's teammates erupt in celebration, theorizing his opponent's massive muscles were just for show and completely inflexible. The defeated fighter's coach is shown scolding him for his poor footwork and for charging in headfirst without thinking. A system notification confirms Zichen has defeated another rival, pushing his achievement progress forward as he realizes high-stakes matches count. The opposing team's coach orders his next fighter, Chen Feng, to crush the first year as fast as possible. Chen Feng enters the ring, assuming a focused fighting stance. The referee shouts for the next duel to begin. Chen Feng rushes Zichen, unleashing a rapid series of punches. Wang Zichen dodges and counters with a swift kick to his opponent's chest. The force of the kick sends Chen Feng spinning uncontrollably through the air. Wham! Chen Feng crashes to the floor, knocked out cold in an instant. Medics hurry in with a stretcher, instructed to take the unconscious fighter for a head scan. The crowd murmurs in disbelief, with some claiming the Shanghai student is just insanely lucky, while others demand a refund for a rigged match. A spectacled analyst in the crowd panics, realizing the first year from Shanghai High isn't lucky. He's the real deal. The rival coach sternly instructs his next fighter, Gao Fei, to focus entirely on defense and not to lose. Gao Fei strolls confidently towards the stage, assuring his coach that he will win. In the ring, Gao Fei scoffs that Lin Zichen is just nimble and relies on tricks, boasting of his own superior speed and combat experience. The audience buzzes, discussing Gao Fei's insane speed and enhanced stats from his gene fusion user father, predicting a loss for the first year. The referee once again declares the start of the duel. In a blur of motion, Gao Fei closes the distance between them instantly. He unleashes his special move, the flowing water shattering rock fist, a rapid barrage of strikes. From the sidelines, his coach screams in frustration, asking why he's attacking instead of defending as instructed. Gao Fei arrogantly thinks a genius needs no defense, while Zichen calmly observes the interesting fist technique, deciding to learn it first. As his flurry of attacks continues to miss, Gao Fei grows increasingly frustrated, unable to land a single hit. He demands to know how Zichen is dodging everything, only to be coolly taunted and asked if he has any other moves. Enraged, Gao Fei launches an even more frantic and overwhelming storm of punches. Deciding he's seen enough of the same move, Zichen ends the fight with a decisive kick to Gao Fei's torso. The entire crowd looks on in stunned, silent disbelief at the instant reversal. The Shanghai High team goes wild, celebrating Xiao Chen's third consecutive victory as their coach revels in the effortless victory streak. Xiao Chen stands calmly over another defeated opponent, his victory absolute. With another opponent down, Zichen coldly narrates that he soon wiped out all 5 members of the Shanghai #1 High team. In a flurry of battles, he single-handedly defeated 2 more schools over the next 2 days, bringing his rival count to 16. The Shanghai High team celebrates their tournament victory on the podium, with their coach joyfully hoisting the trophy high. Zichen checks his progress, realizing that at this rate, defeating the remaining 984 opponents will take years. To his surprise, his coach, Mr. Guo, hands him the bulk of the tournament prize money, a thick stack of cash totaling 20,000. Surrounded by his winnings and trophies, Zaichen triumphantly reflects on saving up 30,000 yuan from all his competitions. However, his savings quickly disappear as he buys a package of strange, purple tentacles from a smiling shopkeeper. At home, a blue-haired woman tells Xiao Chen to slow down as he devours the squid meat. His codex unlocked progress, hitting 33%. By his second year, his training had paid off, allowing him to lift massive boulders and run the 100-meter dash in under 4.5 seconds. Time passes, and a photo captures the moment he and Shen Qinghan successfully graduated from Shanghai's middle school division. Later, Shen Qinghan tearfully asks why she can't go to the same high school as him, as it's revealed Zichen placed first while her martial arts score fell short of the elite class cutoff. Zichen comforts her, explaining that Shanghai High's principal is coming to his house and asks her to join him for the meeting. Crying, she realizes the principal only wants to recruit him and feels her own presence at the meeting would be pointless. Zaichen takes her hand with a smile, revealing his one condition for staying at the school: she must be his deskmate. The scene shifts to a promotional shot of a girl with long, silver-blue hair looking over her shoulder. The principal of Shanghai High visits their home, discussing the arrangements with Zichen and Shen Qinghan for several hours. The purple-haired principal stands, indicating that she believes all the important points have been covered. Turning back, she invites Zaichen to voice any other requests he might have as a condition for staying. Zaichen stands beside Chen Qing'an and makes his one request: that she be allowed to stay in the same class with him. The principal leans in towards a startled Shen Qinghan, confirming her name with a knowing smile. As she leaves, the principal gives them an OK sign, telling them to report to school together at the start of the term. Overjoyed by the news, Zichen and Shen Qinghan erupt in a heartfelt cheer, thanking the principal profusely. In another tournament, Zichen effortlessly lands a powerful kick, once again securing the championship for Shanghai Junior High. He deftly evades an opponent's attack, his movements fluid and precise. With his prize money, Zichen decides to fulfill an earlier wish, and the scene shifts to a dense forest overlooking the city. Carrying more of the strange meat, he walks into the secluded forest to safely complete the final 20% of his Ghost Shadow Squid Codex. He consumes the squid's life essence, his body glowing with a powerful blue aura as he feels the surge of new energy. A notification declares the codex is 100% complete, his eyes widening in shock. He unlocks the blessing of liquid affinity, gaining mastery over water as a giant, ethereal squid manifests beneath him. Holding the leftover tentacles, he looks disappointed, feeling that his new water-based ability seems rather underwhelming. Testing his new power, he discovers swimming is now effortless, and his skin no longer wrinkles, but he feels no other effects. Relaxing in a hot spring, he accepts that a low-tier beast would only grant a minor ability, and resolves to buy higher-grade meat in the future. He imagines a day when he'll be strong enough to hunt massive mutant beasts, roaming the ruined cities. His resolve hardens as he recalls the giant mutant rays, determined to grow powerful enough to face them. To better understand his new power, he suggests a trip to the beach, where he and Shen Qinghan walk along the shore. Shen Qinghan shivers as she steps into the ocean, telling Xiao Chen that the seawater is surprisingly cold. He dives in, telling her she'll get used to it, as a system notification confirms he's gaining stats while swimming. Still hesitant in the shallow water, Shen Qinghan calls out to Xiao Chen, asking him to teach her how to swim. Surfacing from the water, he suddenly remembers that she doesn't know how to swim. He begins to patiently teach her, privately doubting she'll ever learn due to her average athletic ability. To his utter astonishment, Shen Qinghan immediately masters swimming, excitedly exclaiming how easy it was. She glides gracefully through the water, a natural in her new element. Surfacing with a smile, she eagerly asks if she can start diving now. She playfully splashes water at Zaichen, who can only stare in disbelief. Treading water, Shen Qinghan marvels that her eyes don't sting underwater and that she actually enjoys the cool sensation. He connects her mysterious past illness with her newfound aquatic talent, suddenly wondering if she was born with a natural water affinity. In a flash of insight, he pictures a divine, water-wielding goddess, realizing the true nature of her power. As they dive deeper together, her incredible performance continues to shock him as they explore the vibrant marine life. They swim peacefully near the seabed, and Zaichun notes with amazement that they've been holding their breath for over 10 minutes, an impossible feat for a beginner. Underwater, the girl with purple pigtails puffs her cheeks with a curious expression, surrounded by small fish. Whoosh! She is suddenly pulled into a deep blue whirlpool, wondering about a strange sound she hears in the water. As she and Zichen are dragged toward the surface, she again asks what the bizarre sound could be. Splash! They burst from the surface, gasping for air as the water around them emits a faint blue glow. Now, walking along the beach at night, Zichen turns to the girl and asks why she's suddenly so nervous. Clutching her arms and shivering, she explains that she kept hearing strange and creepy sounds right by her ear. He asks what kind of sound it was, and she describes an unrecognizable female voice that echoed nonstop until she finally surfaced. Later, a shirtless Zichen scrolls through his phone, unable to find any information online that matches her strange experience. He pushes through a rigorous set of weighted sit-ups as a system notification confirms he has advanced to Ordinary Tier 5. Clenching his fist, he realizes his new power at Tier 5 is enough to tear apart low-level mutant rats with his bare hands. He dashes down a track in a blur of motion, noting his incredible new 100-meter time of just 3.64 seconds. Testing his enhanced agility, he leaps effortlessly over the tops of several tall palm trees against the night sky. He demonstrates his new strength by lifting a heavy all-terrain vehicle with one hand, amazed by the huge stat boost from Tier 5. The next day, Zichen and the girl with purple pigtails walk side by side on the school grounds in their uniforms. Two female students in the classroom spot Lin Zichen and gush about how handsome he is, feeling lucky to be on duty with him. While holding a broom, Zichen receives a system notification for a cooperative settings achievement, which rewards him with a social animal attribute. With school just starting, he decides to take advantage of the quiet time to visit the supermarket. In the brightly lit meat aisle, he concludes it's time to choose a new target now that the Ghost Shadow Squid is unlocked. His eyes widen in shock as he spots an unusual item in one of the refrigerated cases. He stares at the packaged claw of a savage giant eagle, taken aback by its high price of $19.98 per gen. A confident smirk spreads across his face as he decides this is definitely the one he's choosing. A chapter transition image features the girl with purple pigtails, dressed in a cute maid outfit. A majestic white eagle soars over a vast, moonlit forest. A close-up of the eagle's piercing golden eye highlights its exceptional vision, said to be 30 times sharper than a human's. The eagle demonstrates its top-notch predatory skills, swooping down to snatch a shadow-like mutant rabbit. Back home, Zichen weighs the eagle meat, observing that it's the second cheapest option he could find. As blue energy flows from the meat into his hand, a notification confirms he has devoured the eagle's life essence, bringing his codex to 1. He quickly calculates that it will cost a staggering 200,000 yuan to fully unlock the Savage Giant Eagle Codex. With renewed determination, Zichen resolves to win high school tournaments to earn the prize money he needs before his second year. The scene transitions to a sunny day at the sprawling high school campus. Inside a classroom, 3 new instructors introduce themselves: Ka Yuanfeng for martial arts, Liu Darren for gene fusion, and Cheng Bei for wilderness survival. A purple-haired student named Chu Yuqi cheerfully introduces herself, listing her artistic hobbies. Another student, Zhong Yijia, gives a lazy introduction, saying she enjoys anime, cosplay, and sports. A nervous boy named Peng Huoguang shyly admits that he usually just stays home and plays video games. As it becomes Shen Qinghan's turn to speak, she's overcome with nervousness in front of the entire class. Blushing and flustered, Shen Qinghan stammers through a shy introduction, asking her classmates to take care of her. Lin Zichen stands and gives a short and direct introduction, saying he looks forward to working with everyone. After the bell rings, a girl with light brown hair asks Qinghan about her score on the entrance exam. The new girl, with her hair in twin buns, looks at Qinghan expectantly. Qinghan reveals she scored 709 and politely asks the girl, Chuxian, about her score in return. Chuxin is thrilled, exclaiming that Qinghan's score is over 10 points higher than her own 698. Chuxin then asks about the physical test, admitting she did horribly and only got a 95. Qinghan's expression darkens as she thinks about her score of 79, which was just 11 points short of the elite class cutoff. Chuxin leans in eagerly, guessing if Qinghan scored a 94 or 93. Looking down in embarrassment, Qinghan quietly admits her score was a little lower. Undeterred, Chuxin continues guessing scores, going all the way down to 90 points. Thump. Zichen abruptly slams his foot down on Chuxin's desk, startling her and cutting her off. He smoothly asks Chuxin for her WeChat contact, leaving her blushing and flustered as she wonders about her sudden good fortune. Qinghan watches with relief, thankful that Zichen bailed her out of the awkward and persistent questioning. Zichen then turns to another classmate, a boy named Yu, and suggests they also exchange contact information. After exchanging contacts, Zichen creates a 4-person group chat on his phone called Dawn Squad. A system notification confirms he's completed a group collaboration task, and Zichen muses that this achievement is practically on autocomplete. The narration introduces Yu, a talented martial artist from Nangguan City whose family has run dojos for generations. Li Chaoxin is introduced as a wealthy girl from a family that owns a large chain of clothing stores throughout the district. The newly formed Dawn Squad, Yu, Chuxin, Qinghan, and Zichen, gather in the classroom to chat. During their conversation, Yu suddenly challenges the group to guess who the strongest student in their class is. Chuxin immediately guesses it's Zichen, excitedly pointing out that he was the top scorer on the entrance exam for the entire district. Stunned by this revelation, Yu turns to Zichen in disbelief, exclaiming that he can't believe Zichen is that incredible. Yu leans in, warning them that academic scores aren't enough, as the principal paid a fortune to recruit 2 monsters from Nangguan City. He points out the first recruit, Wang Shuji, a top student from Nangguan with an impressive 100-meter sprint time of 7.98 seconds. He then gestures to the second recruit, Lu Gang, a powerhouse with the innate strength to lift a 300-kilogram barbell with one hand. While Qinghan is impressed and Chuxin is shocked, Zichen internally scoffs, thinking those stats were his level back in elementary school. After the bell rings, the students receive their textbooks for the 4 core subjects: martial arts, gene fusion, mechanical augmentation, and wilderness survival. Having already studied all 4 subjects as a child, Zichen decides to use his free time to find a quiet place to train. He dashes through a wooded area at incredible speed, honing his skills while his classmates are in class. Driven by the lingering threat of the rat god cult, Zichen resolves to level up to tier 6 so he can confront any mutant rat head-on. During wilderness survival class, the instructor asks if any students know how to start a fire using friction. Yu scoffs at the question, remarking that it's a completely useless skill that no one would bother learning. What the class watches, in amazement, as both Wang Shuje and another student effortlessly create fire using wood drills. The instructor stares in disbelief, demanding to know how the 2 of them learned such a specific survival skill. Wang Shuje explains he took a summer course, while the second student casually mentions he learned it online during elementary school. After the Flex Lords have had their moment, Zichen patiently teaches the fire-starting technique to his own Dawn Squad members. Later, the martial arts instructor begins a lesson on a special breathing technique, turning the class into another show-off session for the Nangguan duo. The instructor sweats as he watches the class struggle, noting that he already knows these techniques and prefers to maintain a low profile. Over a month into the school year, one of the teachers announces that it's time for an exam to test the students' progress. The teacher reveals there are cash prizes for the top 3 scores, with a generous 888 yuan for first place. Zichen's eyes light up at the prize money, realizing it's almost enough to buy the expensive eagle meat he needs. Motivated by the rewards, the entire class buckles down and focuses intently on the exam. The gene fusion teacher, Liu Deren, also announces a progress test, with the same rewards and difficulty level. Utterly exhausted, after the difficult exam, Yu collapses onto his desk as his soul appears to float out of his body. Wang Shuji and Lu Gang casually discuss the test, both confidently expecting to score 95 points after only missing a single sub-question. Listening to their arrogant conversation, Yu clenches his fist, overcome with the urge to punch them both. Infinite evolution from 0. A vibrant promotional image features a winking pink-haired girl making a peace sign. Back in class, the teacher begins reading the mechanical augmentation test scores, announcing Shen Qinghan's score of 61 points. Qinghan excitedly tells Zichen she passed, and he congratulates her on her hard work as the teacher announces Yu's score of 88. Whoa! The class praises Yu's impressive score, with Chuxin calling him amazing. Yu smugly promises his group that he'll treat them all to a nice meal with his third-place prize money. The teacher announces that both Lu Gang and Wang Shuji scored 95, praising them for being just one question shy of a perfect score. The Nangguan duo makes excuses for their single mistake, while he fumes, realizing his third-place spot is still secure. The teacher then reveals with a smile that, despite the test's difficulty, one student managed to achieve a perfect score. He announces Lin Zichen scored 100 points, leaving Wang Shuji and Lu Gang gaping in absolute disbelief. As the girls cheer Zichen on, Hiyu celebrates his rival's victory, realizing it knocked him out of third place and saved him from embarrassment. Zichen immediately raises his hand, eager to know when he'll receive his 888 yuan first-place prize. The teacher agrees to send the prize via the class group chat, privately wondering why Zichen seems so desperate for money. Later, the gene fusion teacher stands before the class to announce the results of his exam. The Nangguan duo, Lu Gang and Wang Shuji, are shown slumped over their desks, dissatisfied with their scores of 81 and 83. Shen Qinghan and Chuxin look on with hopeful, clasped hands. Zichen stands tall and confident, having once again secured a perfect score and another cash prize, to the utter dismay of his rivals. Defeated, Wang Shuji and Lu Gang raise their hands, questioning how anyone could have gotten full marks and suggesting he might have cheated. The spectacled man grits his teeth, his mind reeling, as he repeats that it's absolutely impossible. He explains that, since he personally designed the test, cheating was impossible, leaving the Nangguan duo stunned and speechless. In the classroom, other students laugh at the accusation, calling Wang Shuji a disgraceful sore loser for not accepting defeat. The scene shifts to the school grounds as the first-year class prepares for their afternoon wilderness survival exam. An instructor in the forest details the exam's 3 parts: climbing, swimming, and fire-making, and announces the cash prizes for the top 3 places. The blonde student tells his mustache companion Lu Gang that they must redeem themselves in the survival and martial arts exams after losing in the morning. Lu Gang clenches his fists in agreement, vowing to crush their rival and wash away the shame of their previous defeat. As the exam begins, Lin Zichen easily dominates the first event, taking first place in the rock climbing speed test. He effortlessly secures another first place in tree climbing, leaving the Nangguan duo far below, complaining about his ridiculous speed. Zichen's thoughts turn to Shen Qinghan, who he sees struggling on the cliff face, ultimately finishing in last place. During the fire-making challenge, Zichen succeeds in just 58 seconds, while his rivals can only watch in disbelief at his insane hand speed. The swimming test begins, and Zichen once again laps the competition, causing one student to think he must be hallucinating. After being thoroughly beaten in every event, Wang Shuji and Lu Gang sit together in a prolonged, defeated silence. A month later, an instructor announces a martial arts sparring test in the gym, reigniting the students' competitive drive with the promise of prizes. The Nangguan duo's spirits are renewed, believing that martial arts is what truly matters, and vowing to reclaim first place. The instructor, Han Yuanfeng, outlines a 3-part physical warm-up: a 100-meter sprint, a barbell lift, and a vertical jump. Zichen effortlessly places first in all 3 events, narrating that he held back just enough to only slightly beat his rival's scores. The duo stares in disbelief, unable to comprehend how Zichen can be so much faster and stronger despite his lean physique. They reassure each other, clinging to the hope that their superior fighting technique will grant them victory in the actual sparring matches. The scene shifts to the gymnasium's dueling rings, where Zichen steps up first, eager to quickly complete his survival of the fittest achievement. Zichen stands alone in the ring, his impressive stats having deterred any immediate challengers, including the Nangguan duo. Growing impatient, the instructor orders a student named Lu Wei to step into the ring and spar with Zichen. To save time, Zichen ends the match with a single devastating blow that sends his opponent flying across the ring. He then speed runs through the rest of the class, defeating every opponent in rapid succession before the bell rings. The Nangguan duo watches in horror, realizing Zichen is far stronger than they imagined, and wasn't even going all out before. Unable to watch any longer, Lu Gang leaps into the ring, shouting his own name as a direct challenge. He points at Zichen, declaring he's fully warmed up and at his peak, daring him to a fight. Lu Gang boasts that he'll flatten his opponent in 30 seconds, while the other student, Hiyu, reluctantly prepares, hoping to avoid a match with Lin Zichen. Accepting the challenge, he shouts for Lu Gang to bring it on and charges forward. The two clash in a flurry of motion as Lu Gang skillfully parries a rapid barrage of strikes. Breaking through the assault, Lu Gong lands a powerful uppercut on his opponent's chin. He follows up with a fierce, spinning kick that sends Yu soaring through the air. Wham! Yu crashes hard onto the ring floor, soundly defeated. The force of the blow leaves Yu sickened and retching over the side of the ring. Lu Gang smirks, acknowledging his opponent's technique as the strongest he's faced, but smugly states he is still a notch better. Finally turning to his true target, Lu Gang challenges Zaichen to spar, which Zaichen sees as a perfect chance to add to his progress. Lu Gang steals his resolve, declaring that he's ready to fight and unafraid. He lunges forward, throwing the first punch while shouting for Zaichen to take his attack. Zaichen moves with blinding speed, effortlessly weaving between the attack and leaving only after images in his wake. He instantly reappears behind his opponent to deliver a kick, causing Lu Gang to gasp at his incredible speed. The kick connects with overwhelming force, launching Lu Gang completely out of the ring. On the sidelines, other students start heckling Wang Shuji, urging him to avenge his partner and uphold Nangguan's pride. Irritated, Wang Shuji yells at them to shut up, insisting he was already going as he charges into the ring. Standing before the imposing Zichen, Wang Shuji braces himself, determined to find a way to win the fated confrontation. The chapter comes to a close with a thank you message for the readers.